Hey Vorthos Army, and welcome back to the Aether Hub. Today we got another Vorthos Bite. Quick rundowns and recaps on some of the greatest legends found in Magic the Gathering. Remember, you decide the targets of this series. You can vote on our community tab on YouTube to help guide the direction of this channel. You can also vote on more extensive topics by joining the Vorthos Army over on Patreon. Check that link in the description below. As you guys have voted, today's topic is on Lord Windgrace, a very old character from the novel days of MTG lore who's recently gained a renewed presence both from our return to Dominaria as a plane and in Commander 18 where he finally got his own Planeswalker card. Something older fans of the story have been asking for a very long time. But now let's dive a little deeper and find out the origins of this lesser known Planeswalker. So obviously you can see, Lord Windgrace isn't a human. You thought Ajani was the only Leonin Planeswalker? Well, think again. Like Ajani, a Leonin, Lord Windgrace is a subsect of humanoid catfolk native to the plane of Dominaria, but more specifically the swampy regions known as Urborg. Little is known about his past or origins, even that which ignited his Planeswalker spark isn't really known. We do know that he had been around for a very long time, as he's a pre-mending Planeswalker, stoked with all the powers you'd expect from the almost godlike state of Planeswalkers before the Great Mending across the Multiverse. We know he's much older than Urza as a character, for example, because Urza actually hears tales of Lord Windgrace well before his most defining events. Windgrace described a time before Urborg was a swamp, resembling more a rich thick forest, which is something we don't really see in the history of the game. From the official novels and story, we didn't even uncover that Lord Windgrace was a Panther warrior until much later, speaking volumes of the character's mysterious nature. All we really knew throughout a lot of the novels was that the Panther warriors of Urborg, a tribe known as the Kayani, God, I probably butchered that, worshipped him as a god. Remember, pre-mending Planeswalker, so that makes sense. Eventually we learned of the Panther Planeswalker's past, or at least bits and pieces of it. Teferi referred to Lord Windgrace as the Panther King of Urborg, as he had once ruled the Panther warriors there in a peaceful reign up until the Brothers' War. When Urza and his brother were in the spat to end all spats, Urza being pissed at his brother being all Phyrexianized, he used the artifact known as the Silex to blow up, well, everything. This massive release of energy sent Dominaria spiraling into an ice age and a great thaw that followed, resulting in the Urborg forest becoming the Urborg swamp we know today. Lord Windgrace would go on more as a legend than anything else up until the Invasion event. Urza was looking for powerful planeswalkers to help in the attack on Phyrexia, literally going to Phyrexia to explode it and stop the source of this evil for good. He called upon 8 other titans, powerful planeswalkers, one of which was Lord Windgrace, who, despite knowing that the Silex was used and changed Dominaria so drastically, agreed to join. He's just a good guy overall. Let's just say the Invasion of Phyrexia didn't go so well. I'll need to cover that story in more detail one day, but for now all you need to know is that there were a lot of betrayals and mutinies during this legendary assault. The biggest defector being Urza himself, who sympathized with the Phyrexians and joined in their defense? Okay, anyway, his defection, let's call it a temporary lapse of sanity, resulted in the death of another kinda noble but wasn't all the time Titan Planeswalker named Taysir. Lord Windgrace ritualistically took the heart of Taysir in order to prevent his return and use by the Phyrexian necromancers. Oh, he also somehow inserted that heart into his own chest. Look, don't ask questions, I'm not a doctor. After that fail, he returned to his post and people in Urborg, again becoming their leader and protector, all with a newfound hatred for all things unnatural and artificial. The scars left by Urza. We wouldn't see Lord Windgrace again until the Time Spiral Crisis, where temporal rifts had appeared across Dominaria, threatening to rip apart not only the plane, but the multiverse itself. Lord Windgrace was trying to seal the rift that appeared above Urborg on his own, and shockingly, his sheer power seemed to be doing the job. This rift was torn during the Invasion event when the Wrathy overlay forced the artificial and Phyrexian-controlled world of Wrath to materialize above Urborg, forever tying the region to the taint of the Phyrexians. Lord Windgrace was so powerful that the rift folded in on itself, devouring from the inside under the pressure of the Panther's magic. However, as the rift fed on this power, the very essence of Lord Windgrace was taken with it, and the Planeswalker faded from the world, supposedly killed when the rift finally sealed, saving Urborg and the Multiverse. You'd think that would be enough to end Windgrace, but nope. Before his death, he cast a spell which forced his spirit into the land itself, noting that he would always be there to protect it, even now. And it looks like that very well could be true. As we've seen in our return to Dominaria, there's a sect of Panther warriors and even human followers who continue on the legacy of Lord Windgrace. They strike back at the Cabal, who have created a footing in Urborg, and undermine their plans wherever they go. Aryel, a human who was brought up by the Panther warriors here, has grown into a shining example of Windgrace's ideals. Perhaps she's the essence he left so many years ago. And that, you guys, is the entire story on Commander's newest Planeswalker, Lord Windgrace, a character as mysterious as the people he protected, with a legacy as noble as those who now carry it on. Make sure you check out his newest card in Lord Windgrace in Commander 18, and let us know your thoughts on this Panther Planeswalker in the comment section below. Remember to follow us here on YouTube and on Twitter. Hit that like button and share it across the multiverse. You can help vote on topics on our community tab and, of course, as a member of the Vorthos army over on Patreon. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time here on the Aether Hub.